I wanted to do a brief intro of Janene, who is one of our superstar GME teachers. All of our GME teachers are superstars, but Janene especially is. And if you like the user dashboard feature on the Globe website, you can actually thank Janene for that because she was the one who first told me, hey, Globe needs something like that. And so then I took it to Cornell and ended up joining the tech working group and it kind of just took off from there. And when I first met Janene, how long ago was it, Janene? 2009 or something?
Yeah,
No, it
probably
wasn't that long.
2008, 2009, maybe.
That
Yeah.
long ago? Was it? I don't
Yeah.
know. It was like a forever ago.
hmm
And she showed me a Google site that she had created as a teacher to share with parents. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I think we've talked a lot about, you know, ways that we could improve Globe or help Globe improve over the years. And this Globe or student facing Globe site is something that I've had conversations with different educators over the years about and in the tech working group about. And this summer, Janine was joining us as an intern, and it just all fell into place. And she decided to help me create this thing that's been floating around in my head. And she took it and ran with it from a teacher's perspective. And we're hoping that it will be a valuable resource into the future, particularly if there are funding issues with the globe.gov domain. This will be a standalone site. So with that, I will hand it over to Janine to walk us through the webpage and just maybe Janine introduce yourself to everybody too.
Oh, okay. I am a middle school science teacher at a parochial school in Mansfield, Ohio. Today was my first day of school. Um, it was just a full day of kids tattling right away and all the things. It was so great. But I had several students walk right in and tell me that they had heard that I do a science fair and they're just so excited to do science. So overall, it was a really great first day of school. I just took my daughter to college yesterday, though. So if anybody talks about I don't know, missing their other half, I might burst into tears, but I seem to be doing okay. She had a great day with move-in yesterday. So I don't know, that's where I am. I'm also happy to share that other website that Sarah was mentioning if we have time at the end and if that's something that you guys would be interested in seeing how I like started using Google Sites for my classes and parents and students. And then I also shared the Google site. However, because my account is like controlled by my school, if it tells you that you can't access it, um, after I'm done with this meeting, I will go into my email and like individually give you all access to the website. I'm just not sure how it will allow the like share privileges because my account is like my Google account is like through my email is through the school and they like that way that when I make a website for my parents and students, like only parents and students can see the website. So if it tells you at first that you can't get access to the website, as soon as I'm done talking and I can open my email, I will give you access to it so that
Well,
you can
and
take a look
Janine,
at it yourself.
the longer term plan is for me to take the copy, put it under our domain,
Yeah.
my account, and then we're hoping out of this talk to get some feedback from you all that we can incorporate into the final version, which will be hosted under me. So even if you have this current link, it will change. So we would ask, don't share it out with educators yet because it's just not ready yet.
Okay. Okay. Is everybody ready? Okay. All right. Hopefully you can see it now. Everybody can see it?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So this is the homepage of the Globe for Students Globe for Students Google site. Um, and it has some tabs up at the top, but if you scroll down on this homepage, it kind of gives a little introduction to students. saying, you know, that kind of anybody can be a scientist. All you have to do is be able to go outside and be curious about things. Scroll down a little bit more, and there's a little plug for NASA there. Then in the middle of this home or landing page, very simply organized is the 3 steps that we kind of like condensed everything into 3 steps to doing Globe. And we have the first step is to learn about Globe, second, collect data, third, share your data. And then those are clickable links right there, and they're the same as the tabs that are across the top of the page. So there's 2 ways to access the different pages on the site, and the different like ways that we organized just how to learn about Globe kind of. Then down below that is just kind of an introduction. This is mostly for students who are like pretty unfamiliar with science as a method. And so this just kind of says, hey, you don't really need to know anything. You can go outside, make some observations. It can make it as simple or as complicated as you'd like. So I put some examples here to show that you could take serious notes, or you could simply just go outside and draw an illustration. Underneath that is a space to include, add, or change like a Globe student spotlight that could be, like I said, it could be added to, or this could be changed like once a month. And so I put an example here of a student that is from one of my classes. So there's a couple pictures of her, a little bio, and then there also is clickable links here to her project, her slides, and her paper that she wrote that she submitted to Globe, so that anybody looking at the website has like a perfect, well, not the project isn't perfect, but I just mean this is a very simple example that shows that even like a little 6th grader was able to complete a Globe project. And then underneath that, I have a spot where you could on the website add or frequently change, I don't know, every month or so, a different Globe scientist to spotlight or feature. And I used Dr. C, since he's the Globe expert that I had a video and images of. So he got to be the example since I had stuff to share about him. Okay, so if we go back up here and we click on step 1, it will take students to a page that gives them information about what is Globe. It includes a couple links to videos if you'd rather learn about it through watching a video, and a couple links that take you directly to the Globe Mission Earth website to learn more about it. So this is just kind of informative, like to introduce someone who's very unfamiliar with what Globe is. And then down at the bottom is information about specific spheres of the Earth and links to protocols and things like that. If students are interested in like one particular topic, they can go straight to that to investigate. So those are all linked there. And then down at the very bottom of this page are a few of the protocols demonstrated and explained by other Globe students. These are just YouTube videos that were linked. Okay, and then up at the top of this page, you can go to the step 2, which is to collect your own Globe data. I hope I'm not going too fast through all of this.
No, this is perfect.
Okay, and on this page, there is a drop-down menu for all sorts of different things that students may have questions about or are interested in learning about, like, well, what tools might I need? How do I create a Globe account? So there's some information that might help students get started. There's information here, a drop-down menu on what do I do to get the Globe Observer app. Then underneath that, sorry, my mouse is, there we go. Okay, then there's some information about how you can collect different globe data, how you can take different observations, and I included some examples of how students organize and collect data that can, be used in class, be used on a project, be uploaded to the Globe app later. Just a way to, I don't know, in my class, we spend a lot of time talking about putting data in tables and keeping things organized. So I thought it would be good to have a couple examples there, and including I have a link to the nature notes, I think, in this section.
Yeah, that's that first
Oh,
book.
yes. And I linked to a couple of, Sarah has made some customized data sheets that are all linked there too. Okay, and then below that is a link to and some instructions on how to use the Globe visualization system. So once you've collected that data, the next step would be to analyze it, take a look at it, see where your data is going and how you're contributing to the bigger picture. So there's step-by-step instructions on how to just kind of explore the Viz system. And that's it for this page. And then if you click on the next page, the third step is how to share your research. And this page has a little bit of information on, how to use the scientific method. So there's an image here that shows the steps of the scientific method. Then some helpful tips on important things to include if you're going to do a full-blown project. And then there's information also on this page about different places that you can present or submit. And so this would be really nice on a website because it could definitely be changed as there's different opportunities, places for kids to submit projects, especially I don't know. Sarah and I have talked a lot about how the local science fair is like kind of a step that gets skipped. And so this, that would be a step that would be different for every different regional area. But I think that that's also important to make sure that kids know where they could locally go to submit projects for science fairs. I don't know. I feel like I went through this page kind of quickly. I don't know if anybody wants to see anything else on it or has questions about it. The last page on the entire website is just a place to put like important or handy links to different things. Like I think there's a link to my NASA data here and just some other things that may be helpful to students if they do plan on doing like a full-blown project. So if you click on these, literally this page is just links and resources. So if you want students using reliable resources, there's all these resources here that they can go to. And there's even some resources here on like how to cite your sources. Some links to some good places that you can collect good data, like NOAA is on here and things like that, other than going directly. I mean, obviously I included the Globe Viz system, but some other, like Weather Underground is on here if you need to compare data sources or look up anything like that when you're doing your research. Here's some resources on how to change your data into a graph for your project if you're making a slideshow or a poster. Some specific Globe resources that can be printed. And then down at the bottom of this page, I included, and could also include quite a bit more, just a couple of examples of projects so kids can get a snapshot view of what a finished project might look like. And that's the whole website.
And Janine, can you also talk about how you're going to have your students this year grade you on the design of this website?
Oh, sure. Yeah, because we just created this and we're looking for some feedback on it. I'm gonna do two things with this website. I'm gonna share the website with my students who love to criticize me and critique the things that I do. So I'm gonna share it with them and ask for their feedback on the website and see what some students think about it. I've even thought about sharing it with some trustworthy high school students that I have that are very interested in science so that I can get some feedback from students who are better at giving feedback but are still students. And then the other thing I'm going to do with this website, which I've already started, is when you create a Globe site, you can, or when you view a Globe site for that matter, you can, just like on a Globe doc, make a copy of the whole site. And so I have made a copy of this website that I can then personalize for my own classrooms and my own like method of teaching and running through doing a project with students for our science fair. And then I'm just going to add a tab at the top that is their project topic. And we're going to include resources to that specific topic. I'm going to put links there that apply to their specific projects. And then all I have to do is share this website and they can access all of this information. So although this website was originally created so that students could kind of navigate everything on their own independently, I as a teacher will also be using it as a class resource and giving them this website so that they have access to everything, but they'll also have me as the teacher guiding them through our science fair projects.
Can you share your screen for a
Yep.
second? Okay. Now we can see everybody. We're looking for thoughts, input, criticisms, suggestions for improvement. And I love the idea of, if teachers want to make a copy and change it up and make it their own, that's awesome too. We can totally do that. And we will have Janine as one of our guest speakers at our monthly GME exchange meetings that we'll do throughout this school year. And so to introduce the website also to all of our educators at that. So
I have just a quick question, Svetlana. With regard to navigating, I wasn't seeing exactly, I mean, I can poke around myself how you were moving from one section to the other, but I'm assuming this is all kind of facilitated and you will be the one telling, go to this page. Is that how you have in mind that you would use it, where you would be guiding the students in how to move through the website?
I will in my class, but if you look on I can reshare it so you can see on the very home page or first screen. Let's see. If you scroll down just a little way, this is like the page that opens, it's like considered the home page. If you scroll down just a little bit on it right here, it says start with these 3 easy steps.
Right. I
And
thought that was
and the
great.
3 steps right here are
Right.
the three pages that I went through.
Oh, okay. So they
yeah,
could just follow
I
along.
was
Yeah.
I was
Mhm.
thinking, Janine, I wonder if it's on the top
If
menu,
I just put step 1, step 2, and step 3.
even if you just put 1.2
Yeah.
dot, yeah,
Yeah,
just
I can add that. I can
yeah,
make a
yeah.
note of that so that
And
they would.
that corresponds to the tabs, right? So,
Yep.
yep.
Yeah,
This
I
is
like
so
that idea.
great.
So you're willing to share that. That's nice.
Yeah.
I can see, maybe pointing some of our macro mapper people to, putting how to do their projects, because it's nice and they can follow it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think like Google Sites for teachers and students who use Google as like their platform or whatever is super underutilized. Like you could literally create your project on a Google site, and really the only thing that's different about it is that you would be scrolling down instead of like switching through slides or across the screen. Like, I mean, it's, I don't know, I feel like it's a resource that that just isn't, I mean, I don't know. I definitely am not in all schools everywhere, so I don't know how frequently it's being used in other places. But of the teachers that I know and students that I know, they usually are like, "What? I can use Google to create my own website," and they're very surprised that this is a free resource that's available. Yeah, I when we get new teachers at our school, the first website that I made that was for our middle school to share information about our teachers, and it has things on it like what's the supply list that the kids need for the year and what's the summer reading books, and it's a just a blank slate to put any kind of notifications, resources that you need to communicate with parents, and it's just such an easy, I don't know. I mean, it's just free. So it's just so easy to create something, and all you have to do is share a link or a QR code, and you can update it and change it anytime you need to add things, remove things, as anything evolves and grows.
Right. Janine, can you scroll down on the bottom of this page too, where you had the video? I think it was this one with the, or maybe it's the Learn About Globe.
Okay, probably the Learn
Yeah,
About Globe
yeah, the
page.
Learn About Globe with the student videos demonstrating some protocols. One of the things we've talked about in the tech working group is, getting more videos of uh, demonstrating different protocols.
Mhm.
And how cool would it be if we could put a call to students right there, say, hey, here's some examples of students explaining how to do a certain protocol. If you would like to submit one, follow these steps, send it to this, and this, have your media release and whatnot. And
Hmm.
this could be a good place to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe they could get a badge for something like that, or some kind of reward for doing
Hmm.
a good job on a protocol video.
Yeah.
Because students watching students, that's great.
Hmm.
I mean, I made some, but I'm a adult.
There is a comment over here that Jody wrote. I wonder if adding one line for each of those resources with an explanation of how the site might be useful to help guide students more. I was actually thinking the same thing,
No,
Jody.
yeah, that's a good idea. It does look kind of overwhelming because it's just a huge list of links. So I agree that that might be a good thing to add to it.
And
And
go
um,
ahead, Jody.
yeah, then I was also going to say, first of all, I love this. I think it's going to be great. I love the idea of having individual educators make a copy and then making it specific to whatever they're working on. I think that's fabulous. So my macro mappers, for example, could do the same thing. They could have their own version of this for macro mappers or whatnot. I also thought maybe the e-training, and I know we don't know where that's going to live yet. Oops, it says e-trailing. Sorry, but maybe that's a new protocol, e-trailing. But e-trainings maybe could be listed right next to the protocols because I know we're using some of the e-trainings with students, and it's really been helpful for them just to learn the protocol quickly through the e-training versus reading too much. And the student videos are great too. I love that idea.
Isn't that where the links go, Janine, on the page?
Yes, I think the links for when you go, like, yeah, I can open it so you can see it. I can even click on one and show.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where that.
Yeah, and just so you all know, I'm also considering making a non-globe.gov connected version of this, depending on what happens here in the near future, so that each of these
Okay.
links.
If you click on one of these, like I'll click on clouds and it will
Right.
take you, it's just a link that takes you directly to the protocol where you can access the e-training.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Just right to
Mhm.
Wait,
Yeah.
I don't think the e-training is there though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, okay.
there's an e-training page too. So maybe just one link to e-trainings too to say,
Uh-huh.
because it's just multiple ways to learn, right? So some people
Yep.
might want the text, some people might want the e-training, most of them will want to watch the student videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And I like that the videos are, they're YouTube, so they're not in the globe.gov website, so they're available.
Mhm.
So that's great. And the only other thing that I thought about is just maybe, and I know you can do this, but I can't remember how you do it. If we get a domain name, something like globeforstudents.org or something, it might be better than the Google site. Da, 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 da.
Mhm.
I'm wondering, you don't want it to get blocked by other schools and stuff
Mhm.
too, so that might be something to look into.
I thought about that too, Jody, and I had purchased a globemissionearth.org years ago and we never ended up using it. So maybe that's something we could
Yeah,
put on there.
yeah,
But
great.
I don't know how you would make it copyable, but that would just be another step to look into if it was something
Um,
you wanted to make copyable for teachers.
well, I think that they can just redirect. I think it's a redirect. It's really still in Google Sites, but it's
Oh, okay. I see what you're
I
saying.
think that's how it works. I haven't done it for a while, but someone here probably knows. There's smart people in this room. Don't keep it to yourself, Tracy. You know.
Other
What,
questions or comments? Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to know what exactly did she want to do with it? Make a web page of the for the students to use?
for individual teachers to make a copy of this and be able to edit it themselves for their own classes.
Okay.
Yeah, like for instance, on the page where I had said like you could put a link to a local science symposium or science fair, like if a teacher wanted to share this, that local science fair link would be different depending on where you are locally. So there might be different resources that
I got so you want them to be able to uh um edit the slide with their own information, but the slide's already pre-made, right?
yes, kind of. Yes.
Kind of like
Okay.
setting up a template.
Yes, like
Yeah, if you
having a
had it,
template. Yeah.
yeah, if you had the
Get
template
started.
going, it would just be a matter of
Hmm.
opening it up and editing from the template. Like we have a learning management system that allows us to edit the text that's in the box, and it'd be like that.
Hmm.
So, does this the I don't think schools really offer pages, hosting pages and stuff because it ends up to be like a real big mess. But are you talking about like a third party, like a Google page or something? I mean, I don't think they do Google pages anymore either. They stopped that about 2 or 3 years ago.
No, that's what this is. It's a Google site.
It's a Google site.
Right. So
Okay,
that's
okay,
why they could make a copy. Yeah.
all right.
Yes, some educators, some schools use Google as their platform for learning, right?
They do.
So if they could take this template, right? Let's just say I'm an educator and I'm only going to do atmosphere. So I don't need all the other protocols. I
Hmm.
just like my class only does atmosphere. So I could take the template from Janene and then I could take out all the other protocol areas, leave only atmosphere that my students would be doing,
Hmm.
and then add in like another maybe, resources that are local
Hmm.
that I use for atmosphere, right?
That's a great example. Another way that teachers might want to modify it and use it is like depending on whether or not you're an elementary school teacher, a middle school teacher, or a high school teacher, you're going to want to eliminate, add, change those resources that are posted and want your kids looking at different things depending on age.
Yeah, you probably don't want those seniors to look at Earth as a system, or my dog made a mess or something. I forgot what the one with the dog was, but I get what you're saying. Um, do you want the kids to do that, or do you want to like make it as part of your directions?
The original idea for this website came from us wanting kids to be able to do this even if they didn't have a classroom that did Globe. If
Okay.
but because I am a teacher, that does globe, I personally will be using this website to assist me in my science fair project this year. But the original idea from it was how do we get this to kids who don't have a teacher to help guide them through this process if they're just crazy about science and they want to do it on their own.
Yeah, okay. I think I have a better idea about what you're asking for. The one that I remember was when we worked on the Be Wet grant, we did a project and we actually did a poster. We submitted the poster so everyone could see the individual posters, but it was all hosted by the Be Wet site. Is that right, Sarah?
Yeah, that was a child page on our Mission Earth website that you're thinking of. Yeah.
Right, but that's kind of the image I'm
Yeah,
thinking
it's
of.
kind of the same thing.
Okay.
Right, right. Yeah, and that's, I've heard the criticism many, many times over the years. The globe.gov page is really geared towards adults, right? So this is our first attempt to make something that is kind of geared towards basically middle school level, right? On average middle school level that kids could utilize. Kids could just go through it, read it, start to learn about the program and not have to deal with the whole massive, huge thing that is globe.gov.
Yeah.
Hey, I completely get what you're saying too. I'm sorry, I cut off Janine. It looked like
Oh,
you were
that's
getting ready to
okay.
say something. Okay, so I have the same concern because I'm trying to train teachers, and they're what we call candidate science teachers, like they're still students. But when I pull up the Globe site, it's overwhelming. I mean, it's overwhelming for people that are professionals. And then I'm saying, well, you're going to be a teacher, just, kind of read through this stuff. And that's it hasn't ever worked in the last 10 years of me doing it that way. So I'm thinking there's a better way, you know, because they should be able just to do the little bits and do a project because they're only going to be teaching the project. They're not going to be teaching them all the things about Globe.
Right.
And I'm selfish. I'm only talking about how I'm seeing it. So just so
Mitch,
you know that.
if you're gonna focus on Urban Heat Island at all, you may want to check out, I just put in the chat, the Google site that I made a few years back for students about Urban Heat Island. This is in part where, Janine and I started. She helped me go through this page and look at it, and we kind of modeled the just general globe for students after my Urban Heat Island for Students website. But that is topic based, right? And then we just wanted something
Yeah,
just for
Yeah,
globe.
that one's
it,
nice.
it
Yeah.
is nice, and I'm looking at it right now. And I was able to do it with the elementary ed, but it was just one thing, and it took the whole week to work on that. And it was macroinvertebrates. So there was the classwork that we did for a whole day, and then there was the equipment that we went through, and then we had to get out to the site and then bring that stuff back after we spent all day at the site collecting. I mean, I love Globe, but it does take a lot of time if you want to do it right.
You
And I don't
chose the most difficult protocol.
what the macros? No,
Yes.
we were able to pull in the web identification kit on their phone, so they didn't have to go through you know a classification scheme or anything.
Well, you gotta join Peggy. We gotta get Mitch to join our macro mappers group.
Well, you picked like
I
the
just
hardest one, but also the one that with critters, like
yeah,
everyone likes.
right, and it was the year that they forced me to teach the life sciences, and I don't have any background in that other than, I mean, really simple stuff. Like the third graders know as much as I do a lot of the time. So, um, but yeah, the urban heat island is something that we can actually do as a project and go to different sites. I want to get them out. I want my teachers, my candidate teachers, to get out of the classroom as much as possible. So that becomes the norm that they think of when they get to teaching. They're going to be looking for ways of getting the kids outside rather than in the class because they still want to lecture. They want to show how much they know, and I keep thinking to myself, nobody cares how much you know. They want to learn and manipulate little tools and stuff like that. Like I don't want to read about baking sourdough bread. I want to make the bread, you
Right.
know?
Right. Well, you can use that website. I do want to make
Uh,
one change. I have listed on there that the instruments, I have the calibration thermometer, but ever since Jody showed us to use a meat thermometer that is way better, and I want to actually put a picture of a meat thermometer. So I will make that little change on that website. But other than that, that one you can use and
are
share.
you talking about the little round ones that look like a tack, a giant nail, or
No,
is it something
it's
else?
just like for me, it folds out. It's got a metal thing. You can stick it in.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
okay. So it's a digital one that
Jody will find the
sticks.
link. She'll find it
I
for you.
gotcha. I got it. I remember what it is.
Are
Right.
there any
So,
other comments or questions for Janine? I just want to make, I'm really conscious of the time, so we have 7 minutes left. So I just want to make sure that if anybody had more comments or questions, because I know they were looking for feedback.
well, I just thank her because these
Aw,
are
thank
all
you.
really good ideas that I have to get back to what I'm supposed to be doing in the first place here, and I'm pretty happy about that. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any-
Can you
else?
bring up the page one more time?
Yeah. Actually, I was just thinking while you guys were talking about it that it might actually be helpful to see not only the website, but to see it in the screen that I would edit it. So, like, if you were to make a copy of this, you just go up here somewhere. Yeah. So you just click up here when you're looking at the website or when you're in your Google Sites or whatever, and there's an easy way to access that says make a copy, and then you can change that version and personalize it for yourself. But when I'm working on a Google site, if you've never seen this before, when you're in the edit mode, there's this tab over here to on your right where you can insert different pictures. It has different setups because I'm not a graphic design artist. I've never created a website from scratch before besides using Google Sites. And you can organize the different pages and you can even set up a template theme. Like it's very simple. Students could create their own site if they wanted to create their own urban heat island site or their own site for their project that they're working on. So Google Sites is super easy to use if you have a Gmail account. I think you have access to it. It's just one of the apps. But I'm sorry, Sarah, what did you want me to share?
Yeah, Tracy pointed out to me one good thing that we need to remember to do, like at the bottom somewhere, is put our funding information for
Okay.
Mission Earth. We
And
have
there's a footer on every page, so that would be an easy
right,
to
right,
add
right.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think just scroll up one more time to your step 1, step 2, step 3. Click. Okay, yeah, step 3, share instead of sharing. Learn,
Okay.
collect, share. Yep, and that's how you had it at the top of the,
Okay.
so just change that.
Okay. I can stop sharing there.
If anyone else after the fact has thoughts about this Google site, you can all email me and I can work with Janine on it. And although she's wrapped up her internship with us, so I won't be bugging you as much, Janine. Especially since it
Whatever.
was your first day of school today.
It was great. First day was great.
That's awesome. I'm glad you were able to join us.
Yeah.
Did that?
That'll be
Yeah, that
fun.
worked. Great.
Yes, that link works.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Jody. I was looking for that. Okay. And so what's cool about this, I just again, and I think that this would be pretty, it could actually, Janine, it could be very helpful to add a link to this if you have kiddos who are doing Globe on their own, and they need to order equipment, it might be good to have access to this Airtable database.
Okay.
Because what you cannot do is search by protocol, or you can search by like bundles and things like that. And as we roll out new protocols, we're going to have adding in
Mhm.
things like our new protocols and the activities that would go under that.
In
Um,
that, and you had a drop down, Janine, where it says like collect your equipment. Let's add that
Okay.
link
I
in
can.
there. That's perfect because
Okay.
be all they would need.
I mean, if they're gonna, do surface temperature stuff, they can use this Airtable database to look at some different vendors to order those from. Um, I'm thinking homeschools as well,
Mm-hmm.
um, might be able to access that too.
Yep. And the macro mappers will be added next, Peggy and Sarah. Yeah, from your presentation last week, we added it to the spreadsheet. Now it'll go to Airtable.
That's awesome.
Good. Cool.
Yeah, and one last thing. So the Sparks course that Svetlana and her group have developed, we've talked about linking this globe for students Google site, like on the final page, when you finish the course, you learn all about Globe, and then you could go access this Google site and see what you can share with students. Svetlana, did you want to say anything about that?
No, 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 nothing to add. Just that's a was is a great plan, and I'm really excited about how these two fit together. Awesome. Great work.
Maybe Svetlana and Sarah, maybe that goes. I know it could go in module 12, the last module, but maybe it should go in the implementation plan module because I can see teachers wanting to use it as they're, oh, look at this already exists. This helps me with my implementation plan.
That's a great idea. Okay, yeah.
Maybe both places, just so that they know
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we can put it in the resource library too.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just hang tight because the link isn't the final link and it's not ready quite yet. So,
Mhm.
but I can go ahead if y'all don't have any like major changes you want to see on it, I could just go ahead and take what Janine's done, put it under my account, make a shareable link, and we could start using it as is. This is now the third group that I have talked to about the site and gotten some feedback on. So
Yeah.
is we'll start using it. We can always change it, right?
Yes. All right.
Jen, you planning more of these after September 10th?
We are, yeah. So we are going to ask people to sign up. We want to keep doing this. So we're going to keep going. We want to get as much information from everybody and get the network sharing with each other this year and keep everyone really excited about Globe.
I would like to say a special thank you to Janine
Yeah.
for all of her hard work working on this summer and putting up with me and all of my requests for edits.
No problem. It was fun. And plus, I made a website that I can use this school year, so
Right.
was it was helpful to me too, also.
Awesome. All right. So thank you everyone for coming. Thank you especially to Janine and for Sarah for facilitating. But especially this is great. I mean, we really appreciate Janine and bringing this to us.
You're
Um,
very welcome.
I think that we all grow together, and it's really nice to see all of the good work that you're doing and that everyone is doing as we move forward in flames.